Welcome to Spill the Real podcast, the Margarita Book Club for women in their 40s navigating midlife, motherhood, marriage, and that nagging feeling that you should have life figured out by now but don't.
We're two 40-something moms of teenagers, married for years, probably in perimenopause, and still trying to lose the same 20 pounds we've been fighting for a decade.
This isn't about having all of the answers. It's about spilling the real conversations as we wish someone had with us sooner.
So grab a margarita or a coffee and let's spill the real.
All right, we are back for another episode of Spill the Real. And the title of today's episode is Things I Am No Longer Doing in My 40s. And so, Christy, before we get into this rapid fire session of things we're no longer doing in our 40s, we like to start off all podcast episodes with our Spill the Real question. And so today's
For real talk.
Yes, for the real talk. So, what is one word that you would describe this season of life that you're in?
My word is bittersweet.
Oh, tell me more.
So you're watching your kids grow up. You're remembering what it was like when they were little, and now you're watching them in town. You know, like I've said it before, I feel that clock sometimes. It's the midlife stuff that we've talked about, which some of it is bitter and some of it is sweet. You know, like you feel like, I mean, you're kind of coming into something. And then, you know, like, I mean, for me, in education, like I'm getting close to retirement.
Oh, how many more years do you have before you retire?
I have like 7.
What?
Yeah. So I know. And it's like, that's cool, but I'm not old enough to retire. Like that, you know, it's what you feel like. And then just all the changes that happen, and you think back, you know, it's so great. Like, you know, I think back on my life and the kids and all the things. And then, but you know, like things start to change, and some of them are great changes and some of them are just a little sad.
Yeah.
So
that's a great word to describe the season. I'm not that great in the word that I chose. I feel like a broken record because the word that I would describe right now is probably something I'm trying to do better about, and that's intentionality. Because I feel if I'm not, life gets in the way. Like this season of busy, we wear that as a badge of honor for women. Mm-hmm. And I love the season I am. Like life is actually pretty grand for me. There's a lot of like, I'm at peace with, I'm in my let them era, you know, like there's a lot of things that are really sweet about this season that I'm in, but I'm having to force myself to be like, oh no, the kids are about, like Landon will be out of the house in a few years, or at least I hope. I think he might be the kid that lives in the basement forever. Where the jury's still out.
Working on that.
But I'm like, I have to really be intentional to like, is he prepared for life? Mm-hmm. Is he prepared for college? So just intentional conversations of how do you treat a woman because of kind of going into relationships. And so, you know, I'm trying to be very intentional about, you know, like church and faith. And because, you know, when you go to Sunday school and they're kids, like it just seems, and maybe this is me, but like it's kind of routine. Like you go to Sunday school, you go to church, you know, we would do Sunday dinners, those type of things. Yeah. It seemed very routine when we were younger, or when I was younger, and the kids were younger and babies. But now I'm like intentional about like, what message did you hear today? And what did that bring up? Or what's your thoughts? I don't want to like flood all my opinions on them, but I'm also like trying to have intentional conversations in the car on the way to school, intentional with conversations with my friends, intentional about dates with my husband. Like it's just with the season of busy and that bittersweet that you just talked about, like it's like I'm fearing like it's going too fast and I only have like this like a short period of time to make an influence in a way that I want time to slow down, but I also want it to slow down so I can be more intentional.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly.
All the things.
Well, I mean, it's like you like, I don't know, you go back and you kind of like check off, did I do this? Did I do this? Oh my gosh, did I tell them this? And I totally get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying.
Well, and you know that we both share this basketball thing, right?
Yeah.
So, Lane, I'm like, I'm gonna have to be intentional about like taking him to practice, like not taking him to practice, but like making him practice individually himself, and like that takes intentional thought because that's not really what I want to do.
No, I know.
But I
And you
want
feel
him
like
to
you have
be
so
the
many other things to do. Like I need to be doing
exactly.
right
Yeah,
now.
I need to be doing laundry. I need to be washing the
Yes.
dishes. But I'm just saying, like, all that can wait because I need to be intentional. Because if he's going to be this basketball player that he wants to be, I have to kind of encourage and push that a little bit. So it's just like this weird feel good,
Yes.
a little worried, trying to hang on, but also what am I hanging on to?
Mhm. Yeah.
All the
Exactly.
all the
All
things.
the things. All the things. And I'm sure a lot of people that are listening, your kids are in some there is something that you're like
Mhm.
whatever it's sports or academic team or
Mhm.
whatever your kids are doing, and you get in the rat race of things,
Mhm.
and then you realize how much like I mean I'm thinking right now like it's getting a school year winding down.
Oh yeah.
The beginning of it you're like, oh, this is gonna take
Yeah.
forever, and then it's here and you're like, oh my gosh, did I teach them this? Like
Yeah.
as a teacher I'm like,
Mhm.
oh no, I don't know if I've spent enough time doing this, or do I have
Right.
them ready for the next grade level? And so, yeah, I get on different platforms
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
sure.
Well, and years create seasons, and then like there's the seasons of life, but there's seasons within the year, and it's just I think we don't spend enough time identifying the season that we're in, and I think that's why it's important for us to talk out loud, like
Yes.
what word can describe the season, and try not to describe. It might be a season of hard for some.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've
Yep.
been there. And so just knowing that that season's going to pass because another season's going to
Yep.
come, but you sometimes have to almost pull yourself out of a season.
Oh, you can get
Uh,
stuck so
oh, for
easy.
sure.
So easy.
For sure. So, are you ready to dive in to this episode today?
Yes.
And I think we're just going to like shoot back and forth of just different topics because I know that I'm going to try not to go down the rabbit hole of like when you say something like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. I'm not, I'm letting that go. So, this is really for the listener that you can hear what we're trying to let go or the things we're not going to do in our 40s and be like, yep, I'm not going to do that either. Yep, I hear you on that. Like, I think you're probably going to check off a few boxes
Mm-hmm.
yourself as you're listening, or you might be like, I hadn't even thought of that.
I know. Yeah, that's what, yeah. There are things that well, I think we've talked about this on a previous episode. The I think her name's Melanie, who does
Mm,
that I Do Not Care
care.
Club,
Yes.
and she says stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I am
Mm,
not doing that anymore. Like
right.
that's exactly where my mind went to when we talked about this episode, and stuff you don't even think about that
Mm-hmm.
you've said that like subconsciously,
100%.
but you haven't like, oh yeah, I used to do that. I'm not
Mm.
doing that anymore.
I'm hoping that this is also because it's recorded and it's going to be out there, for the world, that I hold myself accountable. Like I'm going to go back to listen to like, oh yeah, I forgot I wasn't going to do that anymore in my
Well,
40s.
I have some, we'll just get to it in a minute. Yeah, yeah.
All right. You go first. What is something you're not going to be doing or no longer doing in your 40s?
Okay, so I kind of went through some like, okay, in this aspect of life, So I said I am no longer wasting time being angry with each other over silly things in my marriage.
Ooh.
I said that, but I don't think it's true. I don't think I've actually mm, May. I would like to think I'm not doing that, but I'm probably still gonna do that. So
Well,
it's
it's
okay.
funny that you say that because I wish that I could do that. But you know how, like, I don't know if anybody's like this, but whenever I'm thinking about my marriage, I used to do silent treatments. I used to be the best at silent.
Days,
Oh, I could hold
days.
out for a really long
Yeah.
time. I will say though, I don't got time anymore.
No,
we got shit we got to talk
I
about.
know. I know. Yeah. Especially now. It was different when the kids were little. Like you just kind of fed off of the kids.
Right.
They were like
Right.
your buffer,
Yeah.
and you could like talk to each other without really talking to each other. Like,
Mhm.
talk like, go give this to daddy,
Yep.
like when they were little. And then, yeah, now, and it's funny. I think we both, Neil and I both kind of came to that conclusion. That like he did too. Like this is like we're wasting so much
Oh,
time. We're
yeah.
wasting so much time.
Mhm.
Now I still like just a little bit, like a couple hours.
Well, and you might not want to say this. I do still love a good silent treatment though. So I get you on the couple hours, but
A
like,
good door slam, and yeah.
yeah. some the stupidest things that I think we've ever really fought over is usually chores at the house. I wish that somebody would have set us down and, you know, and told us like, what do you feel in your marriage is like your chore as the wife and your chore as the husband? Because like, I don't think I should be taking out trash.
Yeah.
And but that was like my expectation in my brain. And so sometimes our fights are over like the trash is overflowing. And he's like, why haven't like I'm like, are you gonna take out the trash? He was like, well, I mean, you saw it was overflowing. Why didn't you take? And I'm like, because it's your job.
It's
And he
like,
was like, who
what?
says that?
Who's that? I didn't apply for that job.
So like now we don't, but that used to be like early on. No one really talked about like, who should do what or like how do you become roommates within some of those tasks. I
Right.
don't know, but
Right.
like, and I can appreciate like when he does the dishes. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah. Because you
That's
thought
kind of
that
my
was your job.
task,
Like, because, yeah, like you thought that, well, that was well, chores were never, that's not, we've never really fought over that, I don't guess. Okay. So what happens when type A marries type C? I don't get really mad about anything, and just because I'm so laid back, and
Mm,
Neil will tell people he's told me he's jealous of me that I can be that
mm,
laid back.
mm,
So I would rather get mad, give a silent treatment, and then I'll get over it like just
mm,
naturally, and I'll just be like whatever. And then, but some of ours were always over like money, like
mm,
spending money, or
mm.
you know things that like bills and things like
Right,
that,
yeah.
and stuff like that. So, which is not silly, because I
No,
mean
it's
that's like
not.
legit, but like just we could just talk about we could just communicate with each
Mm,
other
mm.
about it.
Interesting. So I would say going off of, I'm seeing like on my list that I kind of, um, and so no longer what I'm doing, and this does have to do with Justin, my husband, in our marriage, would be I am no longer like, I think some of our, maybe it's an argument, I don't know what that is, but like some of our things is I would feel guilty of like going on girls trip or leaving my role that I have or not cooking dinner. So like I would feel this guilt, and so a lot of the tension I was bringing because of the guilt I was bringing into that conversation because I was mad at myself that I wanted this. And then I knew that like I felt bad that he had to take care of it, and so I would tell him like, don't do this or do that. Like I am that type A. I am type A. My husband's not. So it's funny,
I
we're
know, yeah.
opposites. But I as now that I've gotten like older, and we've been married almost 17 years, I think. I don't know, but I think it's 17 years. But I have realized that like I think more of our tension was from my own feelings I was bringing into because I felt bad that I wanted those or like I didn't know what I was coming home to. And so then my anxiety would be like how like I didn't know if he was going to be mad because I went out with the girls or I did X, Y, and Z. And so I didn't know always what I was stepping into. So I almost stepped into with like a defensiveness and then that would cause more of it. And ever since I shifted, it's mind blowing. It's all changed.
I
Like,
mean, if things that you would feel guilty about, would he be like,
yeah, like I didn't say
I'm
that.
fine with that.
I,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so it might be like a thing, I don't know, like it might be something that he's having to deal with because I'm not there to deal with it. And so by him asking me, I would already be like at a defense because I'm
Yes.
like, are you calling me and asking me that because you're going to throw at my face I'm not there? But he
Yes.
really wasn't.
Yes. Right. Right. Yeah.
Now that like
Same.
I'm able to
Mm-hmm.
like process that. So looking back, I feel like I caused a lot more issues or not issues, but like a lot more of our tiffs. And I've let that go. Like, I don't know what it is that hit 40 or a
Mm.
certain aspect of, maybe it's that we do have more intentional time because our kids are older and our kids want nothing to do with me and my husband. And so I'm like having to spend
I
time with
know, right? Yeah, that's definitely a shift. Well, on that same note, so that was one of mine is I am no longer feeling guilty for not being the party planning, crafty mom
mm,
who takes her kids on all these adventures and all these
mm,
trips and we're always doing something and I carried so much guilt because I'm not like I don't like I don't like planning birthday
mm,
parties.
mm,
It stressed me out. I never felt like I'd see all these ideas, these Pinterest ideas, and I'm like, I can't do that. And I want to do that, or I want it to be
mm,
cute, or I want it
mm,
to be this. And so, but I finally got to a point where I thought, I'm not like there. I can't.
mm.
Or and just the like. I look. That's another like that intentionality. Like looking back, like gosh, have I done enough stuff? Like, have I helped my kids create enough core memories?
Mm.
Well, you know what? The core memories can happen at home, or like us just doing an everyday thing,
Right.
or the traditions that we have.
And you have, so it's funny you say that, because one of the things that it's it's funny what people see in us or hear. So when I first kind of met you, it was around, I don't know if it was Neil's birthday or Jax's birthday, but you all talked about it's a tradition of you make
Oh, yes,
the chocolate rose. And I was
Yes.
like, they all talked about these chocolate rose. And I was like, so in my head, what do we do as women? In my head, I was like, oh my God, I've not created any core memories with my kids, have no traditions around birthdays. We have no traditions. We don't do anything. And so it's funny, your perception of your own self of
That
like,
I
I'm
wasn't
not going to
even
do the
doing
birthday,
that.
but you have, and I think sometimes we don't stop enough to like honor what are we getting right,
Yeah,
right?
right. True. Yeah.
And probably our kids don't know that what they're missing out. Maybe they don't want the big birthday party, the themed whatever birthday party.
Yeah. And I don't think my kids care to go on little adventures
Mm,
and they would rather be home.
yeah,
And so I have learned to let that go, but
it's
that was
good.
such a why can't I think of that or why can't I do that for their
Mm.
birthday or so
I think every family. So I think you are nailing something right now that I think every woman needs to hear, because when you see somebody else, even though that's not what your family wants, when we compare, and not it's not even a compete, but when we compare our lives to another person's lives, we feel then we're less than we're not being a good mom because we're not creating
'cause look
X,
at
Y,
that
and
mom over
Z.
there. She's doing all this stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can totally relate. I think you letting that go, I need to be reminded of that, but you letting that go does provide this like peace so that you can be who you want to be with your family, right? And create
Right.
the memory and the traditions of the chocolate rose, that
Yeah.
one day I will have a chocolate rose on my birthday.
Yes, absolutely. That is a major tradition. And I do have to say Neil is very intentional
Mm,
and very like wants traditions that he had as a kid to kind of carry
mm,
on
mm.
and us to come up with our own as well. So
That's cool.
where my downfall in that, at least that type A balances that type C
Uh-huh.
out
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
Opposites
all right.
attract. So mine is, I want to, this kind of goes in a different direction a little bit, but it came up in a conversation. I'm like, yeah, I don't got time in my 40s to do that. And maybe I'm saying 40s just because that's like on brand to what we're talking about, like life over in your 40s, because it's just a season of life. But I no longer am going grocery shopping, like
Oh,
physically in a store. Why would I ever do that? The best thing that happened out of COVID was that
delivery.
this delivery of almost anything and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
I don't remember the last time I set foot in a store.
Okay, so I've thought about this a lot too because it used to always be this was always such a stressor for
Yes.
me because, okay, so Sunday would be grocery day,
Mm.
and we would go to church, come home, and during basketball season, I would have this window
Mm.
where, the kids were little, and there was no way I was taking my children to the grocery store. They went, I mean, literally, that is not going to be a core memory of them going to the grocery store with me, because that didn't happen, and I don't feel a bit bad about that at all. But so I had this window of, I had to get there and
Mm.
get it all done and get home before he had to leave to go to practice.
Mm.
Or he would go to practice and then I had to wait till he got home
And
and
then
then go. And I do have to say, sometimes it was kind of my moment away.
Mhm.
But I would complain about it because it would take up my whole day by
Yeah.
the time you went to the grocery store, got everything home,
Mhm.
unpacked everything, and then you're, like meal prepping with,
Yep.
all that. It would take up my whole day, and all I wanted to do was like take a nap.
Yes. No, I will. And I have found a very a good life hack that I'm going to share with you
Oh,
and everyone
oh,
listening.
I love a good life hack.
So if you time the grocery, if you look at like, because we do Walmart delivery and sometimes
Same.
Kroger's delivery. So you know how like they give you the window, like two
Mm-hmm.
to four, 6 to 8. Um, so if my husband's listening, I'm so sorry I do this, but
Confessions.
I look at maybe when I'm not gonna be home to have them delivered so that my kids and my husband have to put the groceries
Right.
away.
Hey, but I feel like that's very fair. You spend the time planning out meals and listen to everybody gripe about what you didn't
Oh,
have and what I
don't
don't have.
even get me
Don't
stuck.
forget this. Don't forget that. I
Mhm.
need this. So I think that is only fair.
Mm. But you know what happens is when I come home and I think, oh, well, the groceries were delivered. They only took the coat stuff out. You
Yeah.
knew that was
Oh, I knew that
coming.
was coming. Yeah. Mine are pretty good, but there will always be things out that they didn't know where
Oh,
it belonged, where it
yeah.
went. I was like, you have two choices. You have the
Hmm.
pantry or the refrigerator and the freezer.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just but they do it out of respect of, I don't know exactly where it goes, and I
Uh-huh.
know you have a spot for it,
Mm.
so I'm gonna let you put it there, which is fine. But that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
All
Yeah.
right. What's another one for you?
Um, saying yes to everything.
Mm.
Saying yes to going somewhere, saying yes because it goes back to guilt again, because I feel like I did, I need to do this, or I need to help
Mm.
them, or I need to, like, I it it's
Hmm.
you can't,
Right.
like, it's okay to say no.
Two things, and I'm sure everybody has heard this before, but I'm going to say it. No is a full sentence.
Yeah.
So a lot of times women, when we say no, we feel like we have to explain our no. I'm so guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was something I was very empowered by recently. No is a full sentence and you don't have to explain it, because then you're just going to work yourself and talk yourself into
Oh, then
doing
you're gonna
it.
end up doing it. Yeah. Well, I guess I can actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you say no to something, you really are honoring your yeses, so that your yeses mean something more valuable. And so we as women, when we
I like that.
say yes to something, I'm of explaining our yeses. Like, I'm saying yes because this is in true alignment, so that we're teaching and modeling for other women the boundaries that we're setting for us as women. Or if no is not a complete sentence for you, of saying no because right now is not the greatest time. Like, I'm setting a boundary and I know you can respect that as a
Yeah.
woman, because
Yeah.
then that's going to empower her to because we all want boundaries. We
Right.
just have a hard time respecting other people's
Right.
boundaries.
You're right.
Right? So I love that. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. What's yours?
Okay, so this is what I'm no longer doing in my 40s, and I'm struggling with it. So two things, and it's kind of health related. They're more funnies. I probably went more of a funny direction, but
That's all right.
I am no longer not doing my face, like cleaning my face. I used to be a woman that until I
Same.
hit 40, I never washed my face. People thought I was gross. I don't really think that's gross, but now I do think it's gross. I have to wash my makeup off my face now.
Oh, well, in my 20s and 30s, I either A, didn't have very much time to put makeup on,
Mm.
and then B, I didn't really know how to put makeup on very well. Like, we didn't have all this social media,
Right?
YouTube. Like, I mean, I didn't start using foundation until I was late 30s.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I always just felt like I just didn't have very much on to begin with.
Mm.
And so
I always say these girls, like growing up as a teenager right now, they're gonna have damn good skin
oh
when
yeah.
they're out because they like watch
They've
it
been
on.
taking care of it since they were 12.
Yeah, and all the things. One, I'm a tightwad, so therefore I don't really want to spend on self skincare, but now I will.
Yes.
Now a great makeup and great skincare line like a cleanser and the hydraulic acid. I'm
That's a
very influenced
non-negotiable.
in
Listen,
my
I said we need to
40s.
have a whole episode of all the things we've been influenced on. We could do a whole episode on just skin care and stuff. I can't. I can't
100%.
even right now.
So that is definitely something I'm no longer not doing, if that makes sense,
yes,
right?
no, I get that. Yeah,
So it was the
same.
skincare, and I no longer can do this. I can't eat like I
Ugh.
want because I'm going to pay for it later. I never thought about that in my 20s. If I wanted the candy bar or the milkshake, I ate it. But now, like, if I'm going to eat it, I'm going to hate myself while I'm eating it, after I eat it, and I'm going to pay for it even later.
That was that was one of mine. It was I'm no longer able to eat a carb, a carb. And I do, but that like it is amazing. Like I remember hearing like my mom and women older than me say, "Well, you aren't gonna be able to do that when you're." I mean, you're talking to like I like and I have a sweet tooth, so it's really hard for me because I feel like I have to have something sweet after every meal,
Mm.
and yeah, it.
Can't eat a carb. You'll pay for it double time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Felt.
Same.
Like I feel like if I eat something, I literally can see it go directly to my butt, my belly.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now my kid, Lane he's a very touchy lovey boy. Like maybe it's his age, I don't know, but like now how he shows me his affection for me,
Oh.
where this is going.
Uh-huh.
He waddles my like back and forth. It's not a us. It's a pull of the skin of my rooster. Double chin and waddling it back and forth and laughing. But I know that that's his way of showing me love.
Yep, I know.
I mean, it's having a teen boy and the flab under my arms too. But we won't go. That's a whole nother episode as well.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Yeah, same. Let's see. I'm not as worried about what people think anymore as much. I don't want to say I don't care because I think that still comes. I bet every decade you care a little less and a little less till you're in your 60s and you're like, whatever.
Right.
So there is still, I would be lying if I said I don't care what all people think because I do a little bit, but thinking back of things I will do or say or not do, thing would have wrecked me earlier in my early years, and now I'm like, why did I care so much? Like like it goes back to the mom. Like I don't care if the crafty mom thinks I'm a crappy mom.
Right. I think so. It's funny because that made the list paired with another thing. There was a pretty traumatic, as most people know that are in my hometown know that like I'm known in our community for a lot of different things. And we had an event and some perceptions of that event really spiraled a little bit out of control. And I was really targeted in a lot of ways. And in order for me to get out of that, I can't, I mean, I remember crying myself to sleep so many nights because I'm like, the ones that were saying things or the ones that were challenging things were the ones that really didn't even know me. But then I was also worried about, and I think we do this as humans, we worry about the conversations that are about us that we're not even prevalent to. So we make up these stories in our head of what people are probably saying in their homes to each other. And so it's like these internal thoughts that worry me to death. And I never forget the only way and that was kind of this moment that switched when I was 40. It's funny how that happens. There was this moment that switch of like, I bet the ones that are calling me out or challenging me or questioning who I am as a woman or who I am in my faith or who I am as a person, they're not crying themselves to sleep at night, right? They're still probably able to sleep and not thinking about what Amanda Owen is doing right now in this very moment. They saw a glimpse
Right.
and they judged me for a glimpse of not
I
really
felt the
truly
need to
knowing my
voice
heart,
their opinion. Yeah.
right? And so I think getting through that now has really allowed me to be like, you know what? Everybody's going to have their perspective, and their perspective's not wrong, but it doesn't have to be what keeps me up or keeps me worried about how if I'm good with my own heart and where I stand as a woman, then that's good enough. I don't have to
Right.
care. So, but gosh, it's something you have to remind yourself of every day, because the most important thoughts we say are the thoughts we like. The most important stories that are in our lives. One of those is the stories we tell ourselves,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so I really had to reshape the story I was telling myself. Like, I'm not good enough. Everyone hates me. Everyone thinks that, I worship the devil. Everyone thinks that I
Mm-hmm.
do X, Y, and Z. And so I'm like, that's the stories that I'm telling myself that I
Yeah.
think people are saying.
Yeah.
And really, there was so many more that were messaging me a message of support and love, and like, I know who you are. I know your heart. I love
Right.
you. I know this is hard. They weren't publicly doing it.
Right.
They were privately doing it, but at least they were privately doing it. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yes. Yes.
But I
And
do think we lose a lot of our time worrying about what other people think or other people's worries.
right. Or what they don't think that we've made up,
Oh,
or that we
yes.
think that they think. And
Yes.
so definitely there's hope for any of you listening that are under 40 that you care a
Mm,
lot about it.
mm,
Is you finally get to a point where you're just like, well, if you do, you do. I'm sorry. Like, it's not right. It's not true.
right.
But anyway, so
If I can't convince someone, if my actions of what I personally do and their experiences with me, that feels different than what their perception is of what they see or what they think that's on them. That's not on me. If I'm standing up for what I believe and I'm sharing my heart and people know me, that's what I got to be comfortable with. I
yes.
gotta make sure that my kids love me, my husband
Yes.
loves me, God loves me, like
Yes.
all of those things, that matters the most, and not what I was losing core memories and intentionality and peace with my own family because I was so worried about what
Right.
others were saying or what I thought others were saying. So,
Yeah.
man, but it was a really, really tough season and a tough lesson. But I'm so glad that you said that, because that was circled and starred and all of the things on my list, because we lose our peace when we're really concerned about others' perspective, or not perspective, perception of
right.
us.
Right. And I think we put so much of that on ourselves as women
Mm,
because of all the things we've said, the mom guilt, the wife guilt, and then it's like all
mm,
kind of bundled into one. And you have to learn to kind of let it go, and some people
mm,
can't. And
mm,
like I hate that, like.
mm.
And so you might be in your 40s and go, well, I haven't hit that yet. That hasn't happened for me. I still
Right.
care a lot. And um you just you sometimes you have to let it go. Like
Mm,
you've got to figure out a way to let it go
mm.
because it will eat you alive.
Yeah. It robs you of your peace.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And Neil and I say this a lot, like that I have learned, I feel like we've learned in our 40s is more than one thing can be true.
Mm,
Like you can, like, I don't know, you can feel this way, but this is this is happening and you don't feel good about it, but I don't know.
mm,
That's kind of hard to
mhm,
explain, but I, we remind ourselves of that a lot. Like more than one thing can be true.
mhm. Oh, for
Like
sure.
I cannot care what you think about really, but I can care about how I'm
Mm,
perceived to
mhm,
people.
mm. Well, and to that point, I think also it goes back to the episode we talked about, like alignment and shifts and things like that. I think when we not that when we care, we can't let the care rob us of our own peace or change who we are as a person, because we're shaping to what other people's beliefs are or what other people want within us, so we're not living true of who we are. I think when I'm challenged or when those thoughts enter my brain, it makes me have more clarity and question, reflect on myself. What am I in alignment to?
Right.
And so I feel like it can be like two things can be true. I cannot care, but I can care enough to make sure I'm self-reflecting to say your thoughts and your judgment or what I think you're saying, it's setting in me, right? I'm
Yes.
hearing it or I'm feeling it.
Yes.
So what about that should I shift or change or be more in aligned to and have clarity so that way I can let it go?
Right. Because I don't want to say that I don't care if people think enough to not self-reflect on, well, maybe I am wrong, or
Right.
maybe I do need to, maybe I didn't say that in the right way.
Mm.
So there is a balance there.
Right.
It's not a full-on, I don't give a flying flip what anybody
Right.
thinks about me. I'm going to do whatever I want. But it's a, you know what, if you don't agree with me and I feel like what I'm doing or saying is right, and I'm you know, like in my heart I know, like I feel peace about it, then you can have your opinion about it all you want, and I'm still gonna, you know, believe in what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Or what, you know, so
stand on your 2 feet.
that's right.
Being
That's right. We don't have to go around with 2 middle fingers up at everybody.
You're right.
But we can, you know, politely not care.
Right.
If
Absolutely.
you don't like it or you don't agree.
Absolutely.
So
I know we could go on and on with the wrap. Is there anything that made your list that you absolutely want to say before we kind of wrap it up? Because I know we could go on forever and make this a very long episode because there's more things I would love.
There's so many things.
But
yes.
There is nothing on my list that we haven't touched on, but before we wrap, is there anything there that you have a long list over there? I see you did better homework than me.
Well, you know, I found this quote, and whether or not it's really relevant or not, but it really it felt, I felt it in this. It said, sometimes you just have to sit back, relax, and let the train wreck itself.
Oh.
So I kind of felt like that kind of went with the things I'm no longer doing in my 40s.
I love it. T-shirt that.
I don't know who said it, so I can't. It was an unknown. So, or I would give credit to. It was not my quote, but
I love it. Say it one more time.
So sometimes you just have to sit back, relax, and let the train wreck itself. Because I can't put that on me. I can't, you know.
Yeah, it's not my responsibility.
Yeah.
Not my monkey, not my circus, not my problem.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Same.
Yeah.
It's all the things.
Yep.
Right. But why as women, and I'm just gonna leave this here and then we'll wrap. Why do we as women feel we have to solve everybody else's problems and we carry the weight that other people are carrying? Why do we do that?
I don't know.
We got too much of our own stuff to worry about.
But I do feel like now in my 40s, I am doing less of that.
Oh.
I think I am.
And
I don't know.
by doing that, like, and maybe that's why I feel like I'm living my best life right now and I'm in my prime.
Yeah.
Because I'm in true alignment and I'm driven towards the things that matter and most important to me. I'm having the intentional conversations. It's just, I'm not changing diapers. I go back to I'm not changing diapers, and my kids can buckle themselves in a car. It's life change.
Life changing.
Life changing.
Life changing. But then there's a whole nother set of worries, which actually is going to lead us to our next episode.
Yes, close us out, Christy.
About motherhood.
Ooh.
Motherhood and teenagers.
Yes.
Yes.
So come back and tune in to our next episode.
And, you know, if you've made it this far, if you are listening to episode 4 right now, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate you.
We are glad you're part of our book club.
I mean, I just thought about it when we started this episode. Like, if people are still listening, just bless your heart.
That's definitely a Kentucky Southern saying. That is so funny. Yes, bless your heart and come back so we can bless you again next episode.
Yes, we will try our best.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all next. All right, that's it for today's meeting of the Margarita Book Club.
Thanks for sitting with us and spilling the real for a little while.
If today's conversation sounded like a lot of your own thoughts, you're definitely not alone.
Follow us on social media at Spill the Real.
And come back next week for another round of Real Talk. Same book club, no reading required.